Good afternoon, and welcome to Hendricks Chapel, the spiritual heart of Syracuse University. Today we present Music and Message. This is a weekly series that features musical performances and spoken reflection from diverse religious and spiritual perspectives. We gather for Music and Message every Sunday afternoon at 4:00 p.m. throughout the academic year. And as we begin, I acknowledge with respect the Onondaga Nation, firekeepers of the Haudenosaunee, the indigenous people on whose Syracuse University now stands. My name is Brian Konkol. I serve as Dean of Hendricks Chapel, and thank you all for being with us, either in person here at Hendricks Chapel or in spirit through our online broadcast. Today is a very special Music and Message as our campus community prepares for Remembrance Week, where we pause to look back and act forward. We look back with courage and with compassion. We look back to all that took place through Pan Am 103 on December 21st of 1988. And we also choose to act forward by seeking truth and by extending grace. We act forward because we are capable of both truth and grace, and because our world yearns for both truth and grace. We thank our speakers, we thank our musicians, all of whom are listed in your program. We invite all to join the Hendricks Chapel Choir in our opening selection, My Life Flows On in Endless Song. Thank you.
Thank you all for joining us this evening. My name is Josh Myers. I'm a member of the 2022-2023 Remembrance Scholar Cohort. I'm honored to kick off Remembrance Week this year with this year's music and message event here at Hendricks Chapel. I think it goes without saying that this year's Remembrance Week will be like no other. Myself and the rest of the Remembrance Cohort have gone through lots of raw emotion in the past few weeks as the news of anti-Semitic language being found in the Pan Am Flight 103 archives came out. I was the scholar that initially found the language in the archives. I'm Jewish, and so are my fellow scholars. Not to mention I found that language on Rosh Hashanah, the first high holiday of the Jewish year. I was shocked by my findings. I was shocked that such vulgar and hateful language exists at such a sacred place on this campus. Those documents have been up there since 2007, and for 15 years, nobody said anything or saw anything that was worth reporting. I was disappointed the university didn't find this sooner. But through all this, we will continue to act forward and remember the 270 lives lost on December 21st, 1988. However, on top of remembering those lost, we aim to educate and advocate against all forms of hatred. We aim to refocus our mission of remembrance towards teaching the community why this tragedy happened in the first place. Terrorism is rooted in the ideals of anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, and racism, language that is still very much prevalent today. We are a group of 35 imperfect SU students representing 35 imperfect people. But through our imperfections, we will continue to learn how to act forward and transform our mission to combat the very hatred that ultimately led to the bombing of Pan Am Flight 103. We want to lay the foundation for future cohorts of Remembrance and Lockerbie scholars so we could educate the community on what truly caused something so tragic to happen and continue to happen in our world. What caused college students just like us to not be able to go to commencement, get married, start a family, retire, and ultimately take care of their own grandchildren. They'll never get to experience getting their first job, raising their children, moving into a house. Because of hatred, so many innocent people are no longer with us today. And while I cannot compare the pain that I have gone through the past 2 weeks to the pain hundreds of loved ones felt 34 years ago, it's still important to recognize that terrible hate still persists today. We hope our education of these key issues can play a role in stopping hate in all forms. To remember those lost, please enjoy a performance from the Otto Tunes. Thank you.
When peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll,
Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Otto Tunes, for the lovely performance. My name is Diane Benites, and I'm one of the 2022-2023 Remembrance Scholars. Recently, I was asked to represent Eric Coker. Eric was a junior at the University of Rochester, studying abroad in London during the fall 1988 semester through Syracuse University. He, alongside 269 others, was killed in the bombing of Pan Am Flight 103. Being a Remembrance Scholar is a challenge in and of itself, but we all place our best foot forward in remembering the lives taken too soon and working towards a better future. Recent findings have led this program to take a deeper perspective on what it means to look back and act forward. The discovery of the anti-Semitic material within the Jason and Eric Coker collection was painful, appalling, and eye-opening. In remembering Eric, I do not honor his harmful actions. I condemn them. However, I am grateful that light was shown onto this material. It has already sparked crucial conversations and actions that go beyond this program. As humans, we can only do so much through our ignorance. Addressing the wrong in this world is the only way we can move forward to stand against it and enact change. Every day on this earth is a new opportunity to learn from the past and to educate both ourselves and others. Those lost do not have this moment today to reflect on the impact of our actions, but we do. In memory of the lives we mourn, my purpose as a Remembrance Scholar is to serve as an advocate against the injustices that existed 34 years ago and still continue to be present today. That is how I remember. The tragedy of Pan Am Flight 103 was an act of injustice and inhumanity that caused this very campus community to experience the loss of 35 students. Loss is the most powerful, unbearable feeling in this world. This is our time, more than ever, to use our shared pain to remember those who are not here with us today and create a better future in their memory. In remembering those who are no longer with us, I have been enlightened to live every day with empathy, seeking growth, and encouraging amity amongst others. It is my hope through the Remembrance Program to foster a greater community of education and advocacy towards better times to come. Thank you, and please enjoy the following performance by Hendricks Chapel Choir.
Good evening, all, and a huge thank you to the Hendricks Chapel Choir for such a beautiful rendition of Let My Love Be Heard. My name is Dara Drake, and I stand before you today a proud member of the 2022-2023 Remembrance Scholar cohort. It is my greatest honor to represent Shannon Davis this year and for the rest of my life. Though she was just 19 years old, Shannon Davis's quiet and gentle spirit was evergreen. Avid doodler, fantastic chocolate chip cookie chef, and lover of pets. She reminds us it's okay to embrace our inner child sometimes. She found passion and joy in working with children and was kind to everyone, even strangers. She made Syracuse special. On July 4th, 2022, the 308th mass shooting in America this year happened in my hometown of Highland Park, Illinois. I lived on the same street as the shooting just 3 blocks down. Blood stained our sidewalks. To have the safety I knew from my childhood ripped away from me in this overwhelming act of hate was a betrayal. Nothing will ever be the same. I feel the same sense of profound and shattering loss when I think of Pan Am Flight 103. When we think of Lockerbie, we think of pain. We think of death. It's hard and overwhelming to understand the 270 lives lost, or even the 35 Syracuse University students as more than a number or more than a tragic result of hate. But I strongly believe that we are not born to die. We are in fact born to love, be joyous, to move, learn, cry, and feel. We are born to live. Shannon's life matters just as much as her death. The 7 lives of those who died in Highland Park matter. The 270 lives of Pan Am 103 matter. Their love matters. In light of the hateful and anti-Semitic comments discovered in the archives this week, we must allow our love to be heard. It is through love we change the world, not hate. It is through and with love that we grow, that we remember, and that we act forward. It is love and light that will persist through darkness. It was the great sense of love that I felt with my family, friends, and community that inspired me to take the tragic events of July 4th and transform them into positive change, to transform the events of Pan Am 103, and to transform the comments in the archives into a call to do better. To me, love is the core of remembering. I never knew Shannon, but I do know that I love her greatly, and I will carry her with me for the rest of my life. Just like Shannon, we can all make Syracuse special. I like to close with a poem Shannon wrote after the death of her father. A butterfly lights between us like a sunbeam, and for a brief moment, its glory and beauty belong to our world, but then it flies on again. And though we wish it could have stayed, we feel so lucky to have seen it. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sifan Hunde, and thank you so much for joining us today. I am one of the 35 Remembrance Scholars selected this year. Remembrance Week is such an important part of Syracuse history and something so special to me. Having learned about the Remembrance program during my sophomore year, and now standing here giving this message to you feels really surreal. Remembrance means something different to everyone. It is a time of grief, celebration, reflection, action, and so much more. It is a way to intentionally look back at the lives that we have lived, the lives that we are continuing to live, and act forward. To me, Remembrance Week and the Remembrance community represents a lot of different things. I will talk about 3 of them that I often think about. One is the strength of community. Pan Am Flight 103 fell 3,000 miles away from Syracuse, over a small town of Lockerbie, Scotland, that has less than 5,000 inhabitants. Today, when we utter the name Lockerbie, it signifies something deeper. We think of the women of Lockerbie, who laundered 11,000 articles of clothing found in the aftermath of the disaster, offering them to victims and families so that they have a tangible meaning of what was lost. We also think about the families that opened their doors to fathers and mothers who came to mourn their children. Here and now, we think about the 2 Lockerbie scholars who come here and represent and share their stories so that we have something tangible that connects us to something that feels so far away. The community that came out of this disaster goes far beyond time and place. Instead, it is deeply rooted in a shared understanding of loss, but an effort to move through it and grow from it. 2, the Remembrance Scholarship Program is about the importance of reflecting. During this week and beyond, we take on the role of remembering the 270 lives lost. We also remember the reason why they were lost. When we look back, we see how such a vile act of terrorism boils down to hate. Hate that has now left the lives of so many countless and irreplaceable lives shattered. When we look at our world today, that hate still persists. It still finds a way to fester in every possible sense of our lives. Therefore, as we continue to remember these lives that were lost, we have to take a closer look at our own lives so that we can reflect on the role that we play in uprooting the cyclical nature of hate. And 3, the importance of acting. These past few weeks, especially after uncovering the recent findings in the archives, we as a cohort have grappled with how we are going to move forward, what it means to move forward. Personally, part of the reason I became a Remembrance Scholar was to find myself in a community of people willing to act and also having the courage to act and move forward. This requires a sense and the curiosity to have open dialogue as a way to look back at the past and connect it to the present, and to create a space for education and growth. So after the events of the previous week, we want to emphasize the importance of acting. We want to engage in difficult but meaningful conversation that forces us to look beyond what we already know and to educate ourselves and find ourselves in uncomfortable situations. Without being uncomfortable, there is no way to grow. And it is even more impossible to target and to eradicate this nature of hate that exists today. So while Remembrance Week started today and ends on October 22nd, the community reflecting and acting does not stop there. Thank you so much.
Makes its way to the stage, just want to announce that Anais is our vocal soloist and Sammy is our vocal percussionist.
And I know that I can go on, 'cause you keep me steady, steady and strong. There's so much to do, but we're not alone. Simple human compassion will bring us home. Standing up for what we believe will keep the flame burning. Let us all breathe. And love lives forever. We'll do this together. Walk with the wind.
Thank you again to all of our speakers and to our musicians today. Thank you so much. A reminder, at 5:30 p.m. today, our candlelight vigil for Remembrance Week will start on the steps here of Hendricks Chapel. For those who are new to music and message, we usually conclude our time with a blessing. And for today, in light of all that is happening around us and all that is happening within us, it seems appropriate to once again hear the lyrics from the selection we've just received from the Hendricks Chapel Choir. The song Walk with the Wind was arranged by Matt Faulkner and written by Peggy Watson. The text to the song you just heard was inspired by the known last essay by civil rights activist and Congressman John Lewis, words that I think deserve to be heard one more time. So receive this blessing. In these troubled times, when nothing seems right, you shine like a pillar of light. And I know that I can go on because you keep me steady and strong. There's so much to do, but we're not alone. Simple human compassion will bring us home. Standing up for what we believe will keep the flame burning. Let us all breathe. And love lives forever. We'll do this together. Walk with the wind. People everywhere have stood in our shoes, facing the storm, fighting for truth. A call for justice filling the streets, crossing the bridge that's between us in the spirit of peace. And love lives forever. We'll do this together. Walk in the wind. You inspire me. You fill me with hope. In spite of this hardship, there's one thing I know. Oh, that love lives forever. We'll do this together. Walk with the wind.